Hello students. So in previous class we have finished our 7th chapter, no, handicrafts and handlooms, day 2 video we have finished, no. So today in this class we are going to discuss about the 9th chapter, production in a factory, a paper mill. So 8th chapter is remaining is there, we will discuss it later in next class. So now in this class, in the 9th chapter, we are going to discuss what is your 9th chapter, production in a factory, a paper mill. So in last chapter what we have discussed, the handicraft, the handlooms will be there, no, where it will be done normally, it will be done by the homes only, by themselves, no. So the handicraft production is also done at home by the small families who are there, so with the help of some simple tools. So what is that tools? So if we see like that, if we compare that, then the factories will produce goods on a large scale, no, with the help of what? Machines and a large number of workers. But at home with a simple tools they will use done by the small families. In factories it will be produced by the large scale with the help of machines and large number of workers. So let us find out how the production is organized in the large factories, how the organization is done in the large factories. So we use so much of paper in our day to day lives, isn't it? We daily, definitely we will use the paper in our daily life. So do you know how is the paper found in books, records, registers, progress reports and newspapers? How they will made, how these papers are coming, how they are making, who is the manufacturing it in the papers, in the books, how the papers are coming, do you know? So there are 2 paper mills in our Telangana. So what is first one? The Sirpur, the Kagaz Nagar, it is in Korambim district. And next is the Bhadrachalam, it is in Bhadradri district. These are the two paper mills in our Telangana. So we will see how the paper will made in this paper mills. So first is raw materials. What is raw materials? The material which is required to produce a commodity or good. What is the material first we require to produce a good or a commodity? It is called the raw material. So the factories require a large quantity and a continuous supply of raw material, then only they can produce a commodity. So you will find dozens of lorries supplying in factories, in front of factories. If you see, there will be many lorries, many vehicles, which what it will be there in that, the raw materials are bringing in that lorries. So the dozens of lorries supplying raw materials to factories each and every day. The paper mills generally use what? Wood from bamboo. What they will use to prepare the paper in the paper mills? Wood from the bamboo and the eucalyptus and subabul trees. So the subabul wood is most widely used now, and besides wood, a number of chemicals like common salt and caustic soda, they are also used in the different stages of paper making. So what first of all here, what are the raw materials they are using for the paper mill? In the paper mill, what they are using? First of all, the wood they are using from the bamboo, and next eucalyptus and the subabul trees. All these they are using as a raw materials. So besides the wood, instead of the wood they will also use what? Many number of chemicals. Like what are that chemicals? Common salt, caustic soda. So all this will used in the paper mill to make ready a paper. They will use in a different stages, and the scrap paper is also recycled in the paper mills. So that the factories will use very heavy machinery, a big machineries these factories will use, and that machineries, how it will be run? It can be run by the electricity. For example, the paper mill is shown in the figure 11.1. No, sorry, it is 9.1. So what it is showing in the diagram? A factory from the outside, a mill from the outside, paper mill from the outside we can see in this diagram, isn't it? This paper mill, it requires nearly 25 megawatts of electricity for every year. It means more than half of the electricity requirement is met through the factory's own power generators only. And besides electricity, the mill also required what? A large quantity of neat, fresh, clean water they need throughout the complete year. So next is the paper mills and disappearance of bamboo. So what is it? Although whatever the raw materials which are using for the paper, it is available from where? Forests. So it is not very easy to procure. The paper mills are generally established near forests. Why? Because the mills will be near to forest. Why? Because they want the raw materials from the forests. No, where the bamboo and other softwood trees are available. So in that forest where the bamboo trees and softwood trees are available, nearly there only the factories, the mills will be constructed. So the paper mills is busy. Contractors engage the contractors to supply what? Bamboo. It means the paper mills will deal with the contractors to bring what? To bring the bamboo and other raw materials which are required in the paper mill. So every few decades ago, so the contractors who are there, the contractors employed the which people? So the paper mill will give the responsibility to contractors. They will deal with them, make a deal, and they will say to the contractors. And the contractors, what they will do? They will make the contract. They will employ the tribal people who are, because the tribal people have the knowledge of forest. No, so that's why they will employ the tribal people, like those who are living in the hills, like that. Penugolu village we have, in 6th class you have no a lesson. So like that, how they are, who are living in the hills, they have idea about forests. The contractors, what they will do? The contractors will make a deal with the which people? The tribal people. They will employ them. For what purpose they will employ them? To cut the bamboo trees from the forests. So due to the excessive cutting in the past, there are no bamboo trees available in the forest near to the paper mills now. So before what happened? So before here they have cutted previously they have cutted lot of trees in the past. That's why at now present, if the paper mills want to have the raw material of bamboo trees also, but in forests there are not available. So these mills are looking for the alternative raw materials, like now the bamboo is not available, so the alternatively other raw materials are, what is that? Subabul trees which are grown in the villages. So now in forests the trees are not available, that's why they are going to the villages now. So this led the government to encourage people to grow what? Subabul trees on the farmland. The government is encouraging to grow these trees. So nowadays the paper mills bring it from the distant places. Now forests they are not available, so that's why they are bringing from the villages, with other places they are bringing here. So here see in the diagram 9.2, what it is showing? The lorries which are waiting with the bamboo loads in front of the paper mills, isn't it? So coming to 9.3, what we can see? Bamboo lifter. It is a machine, it is lifting. See, in lorries they are bringing the bamboos, so it is not possible to unload with the workers, so that's why there is a machine, bamboo lifter. With that the bamboos are lifting, you can see in the diagram. So when we visited the paper mill, we found 4 to 5 lorries with loads of Subabul waiting outside the mill gate. So when they went to visited to the paper mill, what is there? There are 4-5 lorries are there with the load of the trees, subabul, and they are waiting outside of the gate, and they would be allowed to enter the mill only after when 9:30 a.m. So there were separate gates. One for what are the gates? One gate is for the workers, and other large gate is for the vehicles, the lorries, which are loaded with the bamboos and other trees, other wood. So we had to take prior permissions from the paper mill authorities. For what purpose? If you want to go and visit in the mill, if you want to see in the mill, first of all we have to take the permission with the mill members. So now next is process of paper making. So what are the process, what are the stages to make a paper, we will see now. So inside the factory compound, if we see, if we go and if we look inside the factory compound, what we can see? We saw a lifter crane. What it is lifting? It is lifting a subabul wood from a lorry. And where it is placing? It is placing it on a iron platform. So a conveyor or belt took the wood to the cutting machine, and paper is actually made in 5 stages. We will see what are the stages. So this paper mill has separate section for each stage. So there are different sections, all the sections for each stage. All the stages will not, they will not prepare in one at a one time or one place. They have different sections here. So which uses the different machines and raw materials. So what are the stages? That are as follows. We will see one by one now. So what is the first stage here? Chipping. So in this first stage, what they will do? The large pieces of wood, they will take a large piece of wood and they will cut into small pieces, small chips they will cut. With the help of what? The human beings, the workers who are there, they won't able to cut because it is a big wood. So with the help of the large machines, they will cut into small pieces. They can cut a lorry load. It means that much amount of quantity of load they can cut within the 30 minutes. So there are about how many in that section? There are about 15 to 20 workers in this section. So the chips are then separated according to the size. After cutting that wood, they will separate according to their size, and the big chips are again cutting into the smaller chips. So work goes in this way throughout the day. The complete day this work will be happen in this section. They will cut the wood. If any big, they will separate it, and if any big woods are there, then again they will cut into a small pieces. So like this complete day this work will be going on in this section. So can you imagine how many trees have to cut to run a paper mill for just one day? That many. It means for one lorry they are cutting for 30 minutes they are cutting one load of lorry. It means how many woods they need for one day? No, many. They in 24 hours they need many. No, in from the foresters. That's why in the forests the bamboos or all the wood is not available. Second is making of wood pulp. What is it? So we have cutted now wood into small pieces. The small wood chips they have sent to where? The fiber line section. This is another section. What they will do in this section? In this section the wood chips are boiled with some chemicals in very large vessels, and through this process what they will do? The wood chips will turn into a pulp of thin fibers. They will, after boiling, it will become into a pulp of thin fibers like cotton fibers. Like cotton, it will become like a thin. Then the liquid pulp is then whitened by using the chemicals. Then it becomes creamy. It becomes, after joining the liquid, then it will become creamy, and we found the liquid pulp in milky white color. So at last in milky white color we can found it without any dust particles. We can found it. The third one is spreading the pulp. So in previous stage what we got the liquid pulp. No, so in this stage the liquid pulp it will be spread on the screens over a cylinder. So this is very important stage where we can set the height and length width of the paper, thickness of the paper we can set only in this stage. So after that what the liquid pulp slowly it will dries up, and the water which is there in that liquid it will get evaporates due to the heat. So once this is done, then that dried pulp it is forwarded to the conveyor belt. So the fourth is pressing, drying and rolling. What is the fourth stage? Pressing, drying and rolling. So the drying pulp is pressed by whom? The rollers. And for what purpose? To make it smooth. When the pulp dries up completely, we get a sheet of paper which is then rolled up. So the last stage is cutting. At last, the paper is cut in the cutting machines according to the size, whatever the size they required. So according to the size they will cut it, and the paper is made into rolls and sheets as well. So at last then it will be packed and sent to the godowns. So like this in 5 stages. What are the 5 stages? The chipping and making of wood pulp, spreading the pulp, pressing, drying and rolling, at last cutting. So in these 5 stages the paper will get ready for us. So here the production work it will take place continuously. So in all the sections simultaneously. So work in batches. Next is work in batches. So what is that work in batches? The paper in the forms of rolls and sheets it is sent to the godowns, right? And it is preserved in the godowns only, and each roll is labeled with a batch or a LOT number, weight, etc. All this information it will be labeled. What is a batch? When a lorry load of wood is brought into the factory, what will happen? The entire quantity of wood is given a batch number. So that batch number they will mention there in the godowns, and this batch that is sent to the different sections one after the another. So the raw materials of one batch it is processed together at each stage. For example, when we will take example batch number 201. So is being cut into small pieces simultaneously. The previous batch 200 is there, number 200. It would be in the section for making pulp, and the batch number 199 it would be in the spreading of another section. So like this they have the different batches. As soon as number 201 is cutting into pieces, it would be sent to the next section for 202 cutting into the pieces. So like this the batches process will be there, and the papers produced in one batch it would have the same inputs, and the quality will be also same which have been produced in the same section. The batch system allows a factory for what purpose? To produce continuously throughout the day, and it will also allows the managers to trace any mistake in the product by checking what went wrong with the particular batch. So if any mistake is happened in this batches, then the managers who are there they will make clearance by checking what is went wrong. They will check it and check it in the particular batches. So like this work in batches will be happened. So by this we have finished the topics that raw materials and paper mills and disappearance of bamboo, and also process of paper mills which it is in 5 stages we have discussed, and work in batches. So in next class we will discuss the remaining topics which are there in this